So this example I'm going to take apart a little more because somebody asked if I'd go through some of the processes I think of when I'm creating these kind of like action-y type sequences. So let's see, I'm trying to get this. I'm going to pull in a few things that this is the notes that I initially did when I was writing it, and then I'm pulling in a few things that I think of. We'll go over this in a second. So okay, we'll go ahead and stop it here. Okay, so the initial thing that had the initial point that I started at when I orchestrated was simply that chugging away of that G in the violas. It's alto clef there. So in case you don't know that, that's a G. So some of the things that I involve in this, besides the notes here, runs like this, sometimes in thirds between two groups. It just goes by so fast, but it's usually when the main ostinato's not happening, a glissando all over the place. You have to choose kind of a tuning for this because concert harp, you have to figure out what to do with the D. You could either flat it or you can just raise it. So that was the tuning I used for all the glissandos. Okay. I just left out the C sharp or D flat because the concert harp can't do that. A pedal harp. So when I was thinking about after the bare bones, those are some of the tricks, but I also wanted to continuously have this sense that that C right there is the root. That's why I immediately emphasized it right there on the triads, echoing. I'll just play the low end. Okay, so again, and then it shifted to C minor, and again showing the little tricks in between. Those things kind of happen in between the little ostinato, so they don't interfere with it. And I'm just parallel triad things happening all over the place, in between, little breaks between the ostinato and little runs and parallel triads. Then switching to C minor, right there in the middle of the sequence, it actually works because it's still, because we're still hanging on that same root, and C minor is in that diminished scale. So that trick I'm talking about, we're switching between different scales over the same pulsing center. So the harmonic, and then it goes right back into the ostinato. Then switches out to G minor, okay? And I'm not going to really cover this and those kind of things happening before the G minor part. Again, the parallel triads that you could form. So after going from C diminish, went to G harmonic minor. I'm just going to do this really quick because this is not about harmonic minor. Then I went to E harmonic minor. Okay, and we'll play it up to that point. So I'm not going to explain the harmonic minor parts, just the diminished. So harmonic minor, diminished, harmonic minor, harmonic minor, Interesting, augmented scale right here. So we're gonna stop it there. We have a C minor, G minor, and E minor intermixed between this diminished scale. So we're gonna listen to the end where it goes back into the diminished. Right here. And actually I see a problem here, but I'll fix that in a second. So as a side note, that walk up like that is based off the augmented scale. Okay, C augmented scale. I was thinking more along the augmented scale right there for a second with that C major flat 6 as the harmony. So let me pull in the part I forgot to stick in here. I screenshot all this stuff, and this is actually supposed to come before this. We're going to do our best to make it look professional. See, that my channel's not about a ton of editing. This is what you're going to get. I mean, if we have to do this to get the point across, that's fine. It's more like a lesson, so not an overly produced video. So let me see, stack it above. Now I can't see the keyboard. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just go back to plan 1 and just stick them probably just side by side. Hey, sorry about that. Intermission. Yeah, that's our best bet. We'll just leave it as is, you know. So just realize the part previous comes to the part comes after. So we're back to this kind of thing. And that's the ending. It's just working off of everything we did. So it's using kind of like the similar thing we did it during the whole thing when it was in a diminished scale, and just kind of playing it quietly. So everything we did in this, I tried to make like the C kind of the focal point, so you always kind of have that kind of humming in your head, except when it started to wander away to G minor and then E minor, but it returned back to C. Okay. So there's 3 examples using the diminished scale, and we use the same one over and over. I chose examples that use the same diminished scale over and over again, the half step, whole step arrangement, and tried to show you tricks of like, and I prefer that one because you could build triads off the first initial note. So as opposed to doing whole step, half step, you're forced with the diminished triad as your first triad. So take it with a grain of salt, like I said in the previous one. So all right, well, enjoy, and let's move on to the next one when it's ready. All right, take care.